What's up, everybody? It's Alan the Kraken, and today we are going to sync some rumors. This is from Channel Fireball Game Center 4 days ago. This video is in response to May the Zoo be with you, Scoopy Scoopies episode, about an hour and a half. It seems like there was either a lot of misinformation given to George, or George may have unwittingly spread misinformation. I don't know how else to say it. I don't want to get sued, so for now we're just gonna say that George received misinformation, and we'll just leave it at that. But hello, Game Center customers. As you may have heard, Channel Fireball has been acquired by TCG Player. As a result, you may see some changes over the coming weeks to our store, website, and social media. I want to let you all know that these changes are purely cosmetic and won't have any impact on the Game Center directly, just our name. As some of you longtime customers and players may remember, once upon a time, the store was called Superstars of Sports and then transformed into Channel Fireball Game Center. This is much the same transition where the Game Center will have a new name in the front, but the important things won't be changing. We'll retain the same schedule, events, product, and employees, etc. Your Game Center store credit won't be affected in any way. The key difference is that our email will be changing from CFB domain over to Card Shop Live. So in a few weeks, our new email address will be gamecenter@cardshoplive.com for any questions you have for us. There may be a handful of other changes due to branding. For example, our Discord will be changing in the future, and so on. We'll update you with all when that happens. We hope to continue to be a pillar of the Bay Area community for the foreseeable future, and that you will continue to support us no matter what banner we fly under. Josh, Game Center Manager. All right, so there's some important takeaways here. Product is not leaving Card Shop Live. Okay. Card Shop Live will continue to be a thing, and it looks like they are going to retain their employees and product. So that means that TCG Player will not be acquiring product, is my understanding with this information. I could be wrong. Maybe there is a split of product, but at this time, it seems like that information that was relayed in that podcast was incorrect. Okay, the next thing to talk about is if there are 230,000 units, or if there's $230,000 worth of product. We don't know. I actually reached out to the CEO of Channel Fireball and asked, and he blatantly said nobody would know our inventory numbers. Okay. Or they said something along the lines as we don't give that information out. So only like top management or top officials would know the inventory numbers for their company. When I talked to George in private, I did ask if I could share his conversation, and then he said, "Well, give me an hour to think about it." And I waited an hour, and then I asked him again, and then he was like, "Oh, well, I'm at dinner," and I was like, "Okay, it's dinner for me too, whatever." I still haven't heard back from George, so I figured George is kind of like maybe doing damage control on the back end. Maybe has his foot in his mouth, kind of thing. It happens to all of us. It happens to the best of us. So hopefully this just crushes a lot of these rumors. If it's 200,000 or 230,000 units still at Card Shop Live, right? If there's still that many boxes of unlimited Monarch and Welcome to Wraith, I think that's fine. Because for the investment side of things, everybody's still sticking to first edition or the first waves of product. Unlimited is a very healthy alternative for cheap product for new players who want to try the game, or maybe even finish some of their decks out so they can play competitively until they get those first edition products to kind of bling out their decks. You know what I mean? Because not everybody has the same like income levels as everybody else. Obviously, more people want first edition stuff, but it does take time to build up and bling out a deck. I mean, just Magic the Gathering, you have decks that are like insane, insane amounts of money, and it takes people years to finish a deck out and bling it on their income. So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to George. I think he fired from the hip, but you got to be careful. Anyway, I think that the 200,000 or 230,000 boxes, if that's true, will likely be sold within 2 years at the current growth rate of Flesh and Blood, as Flesh and Blood is one of the fastest growing TCGs in the US. Probably a really close second place would be Digimon, or maybe even Digimon is faster in the US. I'm not sure how to dissect Digimon's market because it is a international product, and so is Flesh and Blood. So maybe Digimon is beating Flesh and Blood at the moment, but Flesh and Blood is still a fast growing TCG, and no other TCG has like 15,000 gem accounts for a small TCG that's outside of the big three. And like I said, I don't know Digimon's numbers, but I'm going to do a dive into Digimon. I think it's time. There has been a lot of chatter about gameplay and people playing, and more Digimon stuff keeps popping up in my feeds. And it's not like marketed like materials and stuff, it's like actual people playing the game. And Flesh and Blood is the only other game that I see that happen for. And it's not because I'm like in an artificial like bubble on my socials. Like I follow every TCG. I follow everything under the sun. And I kind of did a small dive into Digimon early in my channel. But I think now it's time to revisit it and see what they're about. We're still going to continue our Flesh and Blood series of the Booster Box game. We're going to do at least one game every month. Of course, if it rolls over and we succeed, then we're going to go again and go again and go again. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There's just like a lot of information to digest today. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Remember to have fun. Verify. Verify. You all have a wonderful day. And peace.